Welcome, family and friends, to another edition of the Reimagine You Lab podcast. I am your host, MG. And of course, you know that this is the third Friday of the month. So, you know, we got Dr. Joyce Moore in. Hello, Dr. Joyce.
Hi, Miss Michelle.
How you doing today? You doing all right?
Yes, I am, and it's a pleasure to be on your show.
I'm always excited, Dr. Joyce. Every time we tune in and we gear up, I'm always excited about the info that you're going to be sharing. And today, no doubt, you coming with heat and sweet fire, so people can, so we can make sure that we're in good shape,
Yes.
especially around a topic that people don't know a lot about. So, what we talking about today, Dr. Joyce?
Well, the last time I was on your show, we were talking about hidden harms from EMFs, and EMF stands for electromagnetic frequency. So today I will be discussing how to protect your DNA from EMF related radiation
Mhm.
from 5G cell phones and Wi-Fi routers and other wireless devices.
What? Dr. Joyce, my wireless device got some stuff in it that I'm gonna have to be paying attention to. Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, okay. Well, we know we always have to start with our disclaimer first.
Yes. Okay. So the information that I will be providing today, as always, is for educational and inspirational purposes only, and not to make a diagnosis or treatment.
Yes. And don't forget, you guys, all the things that Dr. Joyce talks about, and even more so because I know that she's got something new that's brewing right now. But we want to make sure that we always let you know where you can find her materials, and you can go to purplemindbook.com. Just like it sounds, purple like the color, mind like what's inside your head, book.com, and Amazon.com. She's got the Purple Mind Shield of Protection that's up, but she's got a stack of resources that would be amazing for you. And as her new project comes forward, we'll make sure that we share that with you as well. So,
Thank
Dr. Joyce, are we ready to dive in?
Yes, so let us again just electromagnetic frequencies. So I will be saying EMFs, and when I say EMFs, you know that we're talking about electromagnetic frequency, and
Mhm.
that's electromagnetic frequency related radiation. So there is radiation that these wireless devices are giving off, and they can cause damage to our DNA. So we're going to learn this time, or I will be explaining this time on how to protect your DNA from EMF wireless devices.
Nice. So, you know what? I know a lot of times people, for those who may not have tuned in, thank you for giving the recap of what we shared the last time. I want one of the things that I thought was really important and something that I just wanted to point out. You know, sometimes if you have not heard this type of information, what Dr. Joyce is going to be explaining about and sharing and giving you some tips and some tools to really be able to take heed as it relates to your health and EMFs. This was an area that I was not aware of in this way. So I just want to tell all our listeners, just open up, listen up, sit up, whatever you are doing. I just really want you to tune in today because I think you're going to hear some things that you may not have before, but it's going to be certainly beneficial to you moving forward. All right. So, Dr. Joyce, I'm gonna let you just kind of take it away, and I'll jump in as my questions come off.
Oh,
If that's okay with you.
that's fine. Okay, so why protect your DNA? That's so important. So when we're
Mhm.
talking about these wireless devices, because they are not considered ionizing radiation like the radiation we're getting when we're taking x-rays for medical or dental purposes, most people think that the energy, the frequency is harmless, but it can damage the DNA. And if the DNA is damaged, it will impact your overall health. And it can cause your genetic code to malfunction, causing both visible and invisible damages. So the visible damage uh, to the DNA can lead to premature aging and wrinkled skin. But the invisible is what we can't see. And with the EMF wireless devices, it may not show up for 10 to 20 years, but damage to the DNA can result in cancers, and all cancers result from damaged DNA, damage to the brain, damage to the heart, and damage to the reproductive systems, as well as other organs. But the brain, the heart, and the reproductive system contains the calcium, and that's used to cause normal functioning of our bodies. Calcium is not only used for bone and teeth, but for cell signaling and for other normal purposes. So the brain, the heart, and the reproductive system contains this calcium. And the electromagnetic radiation causes an increase, too much calcium to move into the cells. And so we have to know that even though this is non-ionizing radiation, it can cause damage to the cells, to your cells.
You know what? So, Dr. Joyce, if you don't mind, share a little bit of what got you into looking at this information. You know what I mean? Like when, because sometimes people don't know, and they're hearing something for the first time and they're like, wait a minute. So maybe give a little bit of background for those who haven't been on before, just because I know each week we have somebody new that is joining us. But share a little bit about what first inspired you to kind of step into this work and sharing this type of material and information with people. How'd you get started with that?
Okay, well, I am a medical doctor, and I am a board certified radiologist. And so being in radiology, I was able to get acquainted to all of the new technical devices. And so we had CT, it started with x-rays, and then we had computerized tomography scans, and then magnetic resonance imaging as well. So with the MRI scans of the body, I noticed that they were using radio frequency. And so that was something to me. They were using it for medical purposes, but I also learned that even before we start using this for medical purposes, they were using radar and radio frequency during the wartime. So then, of course, I've been interested in nutrition and wellness for the past 30 years. So I'm linking all of this together. So how does eating healthy foods can protect our bodies from these electromagnetic frequencies? But most importantly, what can we do to protect ourselves? How can we change? We can't get rid of the electromagnetic frequencies altogether because it's everywhere. It's a global issue now. They have cell towers and cell phones throughout the world. And so my thing is, we're trying to protect our DNA because we know how important that is. The genetic code, it controls every cell. And so that's what really got me interested in. Once I found out that we were going to be using this for AI and different things for medical purposes, okay, is there any damage from the electromagnetic frequency radiation? And yes, the answer is yes. Even though we can't see it, we can't touch it, and we can't smell it or anything, it's there. And it's quite obvious now that it's everywhere throughout the world, and it is one of the greatest environmental pollutant and it does cause damage to our cells and mainly our DNA in the cells. So that can alter our genetic code. So we want to be aware of how we can change our lifestyle to lower our EMA radiation contact.
Yeah. No, I love that. I knew your radiology background, so I was like, let me just let Dr. Joyce let them know, hey, I didn't just make this up and just fall out the bed one day and decide this is what I'm
Absolutely.
doing. This is in your wheelhouse. This is you have seen this and evolve over
Yeah,
the years.
exactly. Okay, so I always like to include the wisdom words. And once we look at the Bible, read the Bible, we will get more equipped with spiritually informed decisions. So in Genesis 1:26 in the New King James Version, then God said, "Let us make man in our image according to our likeness." And so when he was talking about us, he was talking about God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. And then this Psalms 139:14 is amazing because in the New King James Version, it says, "I will praise you, God, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made." And as we go through this discussion, you will see that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And there is a you inside of you that is so much bigger and larger and wonderful than your body on the outside than you can see.
Yes. I love that, Dr. Joyce. That's what those are some of my favorite scriptures. Some of
Yes.
my favorite.
Okay, so why protect your DNA? So your DNA is actually referred to as a super highway. And that's because we consist of the human body has 37.2 trillion cells. And each cell
Mm,
has 6 feet of DNA. And this is your genetic code, your genetic material. And you have this for each of your 46 chromosomes. So you get 20
mhm,
chromosomes from each parent. This DNA, the 6 feet DNA that you
mhm,
get from each one of your 37.2 trillion cells,
mhm,
they are spooled into coils and tightly packed into the nucleus of each of your 37.2 trillion cells. So in the center of each cell, you have what's called a nucleus or the core of the cell. So if you were to unspool and straighten out the DNA and line them up end to end, you would have a DNA superhighway of 42 billion, and that's with a B, miles long. And this is the distance from Earth to Pluto 10 times.
mm. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's a lot. That's a long way away from us.
Yes, 10 times. And so we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And
100%.
yes, so I have a picture of an atom, and this is a carbon atom, because what I'm trying to illustrate or demonstrate or describe is that we have even the human body has the smallest particle that makes up the matter, that makes up the body, and these are called
Mhm,
atoms. An atom is considered like a micro cosm of the universe. And so for each one of our cells, we have these atoms. And what the electromagnetic frequency radiation does is it attacks the electrons, and these are the little red circles with the negative charge.
mhm,
And it also attacks, well, it actually goes in and steal the free radicals from the electromagnetic frequency, will steal one of those electrons, those negative charges. And when it does that, it sets the whole cell off balance because the electrons and the protons, they serve, and the protons, they're in the center or the nucleus of this atom. They provide electrical energy that the body needs. So
mhm,
once one is stolen by a free radical, it disrupts the cell. It disrupts the function of the cell.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a picture of the normal human cell. So we know that atoms, even though we can't see them, you cannot see an atom without a special microscope. But and even the human cell you cannot see, but these atoms, they are the very smallest part that make up our cells, that make up the cells in the human body. And so when I say they attack the cells, they start with the cell membrane, because the cell membrane serves as a barrier. Now remember, in the atoms we have these electrons and we have photons. And so the electrons and the photons, they provide the electricity, the current, because from the prior discussion, you remember we talked about how the human body and the earth has magnetic and electrical energy. So we are electromagnetic beings, and the earth is also electromagnetic. And this energy that's produced, these currents that are produced, they are direct currents. So they flow in one direction. And when they're flowing in one direction, they're causing the cell to function, to carry out the activity that it needs to function. But if one of the free radicals attack the cell membrane, then this causes damage. It can get into the cell and cause damage to the mitochondria, which is like our little battery that provides fuel for the cell to carry out its functions, to make other DNA, to make other proteins, to make stem cells. All of that's taking place as a part of the mitochondria providing energy for the cells. So we don't want the EMF, and we know that the electromagnetic frequencies, EMFs, will attack the radicals, the electrons, and cause damage to the cells and damage to the mitochondria.
Yeah. So quick question, Dr. Joyce. I hear somebody saying, and so that they have a good understanding, what kind of damage can they cause over time? And you tell me if we don't talk about that. I know you've got some things slated for us already, but I'm thinking, how sometimes people think, oh, when you're talking about the cell and the DNA and the mitochondria and all of these things that's happening internally, what kind of damage does that cause over time? Because sometimes I think it's just good to remind people, we're talking on the cellular level, but over time there's bigger impacts to the body and to your health.
Exactly. And they believe that the electromagnetic frequencies, the EMFs, are more detrimental to the cells, to the human body, than actually the ionizing X-rays, because that they are absorbed into the cells and they stay long in the cells, producing more free radicals, which result, like we said, if the DNA is damaged, if they penetrate through the nuclear membrane and get to the DNA can be damaged. So all cancers. We have diabetes, we have your chronic diseases, diabetes. We have neurodegenerative diseases resulting from EMF damage, such as Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease and aging and arthritis, just anything, because they cause inflammation. Almost every disease is a result of inflammation.
No, I wanted to just pull that out really quickly.
Good. That's a good question. We're going to have another slide that's going to actually go through the other diseases relating from EMF-related radiation damage to the cell. So this is the DNA helix, and I'm showing you this so you'll see what a normal, you have two strands that are actually intertwined, and these strands are held together. Those horizontal bars are actually hydrogen bars that's being controlled by the energy, electrical energy from the photons. And so this is where all of our genetic information, our genetic code is in the DNA. And of course, we have the chromosomes from each one of our parents, 23, a total of 46 chromosomes.
Mhm.
And this is a damaged DNA. So this is what happens from the free radicals produced by electromagnetic frequencies from 5G. That stands for fifth generation, cell phones, Wi-Fi's, and other wireless devices.
Mhm.
And so we listen.
Sorry about that.
So that damage there, you see
Mhm.
where it says damage. You see how those horizontal bars are faded out.
Mhm.
And once that happens, you can get disconnect. It can actually do damage to the genetic codes. And if there's too much damage, instead of those two strands being intertwined, then they
Mhm.
are totally loosened. And so this
Mhm.
can cause a disruption in the genetic code, and the cells would no longer know how to make proteins, which the body is made up of, and other things, mitochondria. The cells are just totally unaware because they're getting their information from the DNA.
Mhm. Wow. Wow. No, that's good.
And so, as you ask, Miss Michelle, these are the adverse health effects from EMF
Mhm.
radiation exposure from 5G cell phones and Wi-Fi routers. Inflammation, more than 60 chronic diseases, but we know in this country is diabetes, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and other
Mhm.
neurodegenerative diseases, as well as cardiovascular disease, heart disease, and I mentioned the Alzheimer's from neurodegenerative disease,
Mhm.
neuropsychiatric disease, anxiety, depression, ADHD in both children and adults, and autism, diabetes, type 2 adult onset. And then you
Mhm.
have a declining fertility because you remember what we said that the EMFs, free radicals, they
Mhm.
affect the heart, the brain, and the reproductive system. And you can also have pain in the skin because a lot of the EMF will just be absorbed millimeter waves into the skin, and that will penetrate the nerves in the skin, causing pain and burning sensation. Now they're
Mhm.
saying that the machines that actually X-ray people at the airports is for protection, aviation protection. And you get in that machine and you raise your arms, and then the radiation goes around. Well, they're saying that it's just going around your body, but it's actually being absorbed millimeters into the skin. And they're thinking that that eventually may cause melanoma, skin cancers.
Really? Wow. You know what I think, Dr. Joyce, that's why I think it's so important, when you come on and the things that you share is so insightful to just be made aware of some of the things that we don't see. Like you said, you don't see it, you don't smell it, you can't taste it, but it is there. It's
It's
happening.
and
It
that's
is there.
and it can cause harm. And so we can have there can be eye problems like cataracts and
Mhm.
suppression of the immune function, as well as an increase in antibiotic resistance to bacteria. All of this resulting from electromagnetic frequency related radiation from our 5G cell phones and other wireless devices.
Yeah, like things that we come in contact with on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, yes. So, so this is the sweet part. We can protect our DNA. We can protect ourselves by changing our lifestyle to lower our
Mhm.
EMF exposure from 5G cell or mobile phones, Wi-Fi routers, as well as other wireless devices. So we can't get rid of it 100%, but
Mhm.
what we have control of. in our homes,
Mm-hmm.
then we are to train yourself and your child to use the speaker function, and keep your phone as far as possible from your head and ear when talking. And
You know
so,
what? That was funny to me, Dr. Joyce, because I always think like if I'm out in public,
mhm,
at a grocery store or shopping or what have you. And I notice a lot of people like talking on their speakerphone when they out. And I'm like, why do people do that? So maybe I'm gonna now think that everybody that's talking on their speakerphone when they out in public, that is because they know about they're lowering their EMF lifestyle.
yes, yes, yes. And if you're out and you need, you have a call and it's a private call, then you can get what's called an ear tube headset.
What kind of headset is that?
It's called air tube. This
Air
is
tube.
air tube.
Mhm.
This is the third bullet. The air tube headset, which
Mhm.
uses a hollow plastic tubes that allows sound to travel between you and your phone without metal wires, because of course metal conducts radiation, and so we want to stay away from metal headphones or devices.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's a good one.
Yes, and so and avoid Bluetooth. Stay away from headsets, including AirPods or their clones, because they broadcast significant EMF signals directly into your brain.
Mm,
So those AirPods, and stay away, avoid anything like that, because again, the radiation is going directly into your brain. And with children, they have thinner skulls and smaller brains, and so they're absorbing more radiation. And because the children have more water instead of fat and myelinated tissue in the brain, and radiation is attracted to that water. And
mm.
so we definitely want to keep our children away from having those devices, Bluetooth and the AirPods. And when traveling in a car, bus, train, airplane, or on an elevator, turn off your phone or use the airplane mode, and turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And again, because actually when you're traveling, it takes more energy to bring in the signals from those cell towers. So you're getting more
Mhm.
radiation around you, and then you're in a metal device. So it's attracting that radiation and reflecting that radiation from the metal car, then the metal within the car, the buses, the train, and the elevator, right into your body. And it can cause damage, radiation damage to you. And
Mm.
I had to change, Miss Michelle, I had to, with me doing this research and preparing for this, I used to think, oh, when I get in the car, it'll be a great time to talk because I'm not busy doing so many other things.
Mhm.
I realize from reading this and researching this that I need to put my phone on airplane mode.
Oh, even in the car, just normally in just regular driving.
Regularly driving, just driving in your car, because the car is metal, and again, it's taking a lot of energy, more radiation to pull the signals into your phone from the cell towers, because you're moving.
Mhm. Got it. Okay, that's good to know, Dr. Joyce. I tell you, I learn something new every time.
Right.
Every time. I love though that you're sharing some of those everyday sources of EMF exposure that again we
Yes.
don't know. We
Yes.
can change up our lifestyle and habits, so that's good. This is good stuff.
And I say just one step at a time. Make one change. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So now this this is whether your phone is off or on. Always store it away from your body. So what you're trying to do with these wireless devices is avoid them from coming into contact with your body, because remember that radiation is absorbed by your body, and it really is offensive to your body because we are mostly water. And remember, water conducts electricity. So you keep it away from your body, put it in a purse, backpack, fanny pack, such as waist bag, belt bag, hip bag, and do not. And I see so many people with their phones in their jacket pocket or their pants pocket, both women and men. But they have noticed that there has been an increase of rectal cancer in younger people. And they believe that, again, you are getting radiated. You're even with the phone on, there's a small amount of radiation, or there's still radiation that's being emitted from that device into your body and being absorbed into your body. Do not place your phone in your bra. And you'll see some women who say, oh, I'm not carrying a purse today, so, put it in the bra. But there have been women diagnosed with breast cancers by carrying their phone in their bra. Cell phone screens emit blue light, which can interfere with melatonin production and disrupt sleep patterns. So you don't want to, just fall asleep with those screens on. Never sleep with a cell phone under your pillow or in your bed. And I know a lot of people say, well, I used to fall asleep and leave my phone in my bed. But we need not put it as far away from you. According to scientific research, they're saying if you have it 6 inches to 12 inches, then the amount of radiation that's being absorbed, the radio frequency that's being absorbed by the body, decreases by 90%.
That's significant too.
Yes, it is. So increase distance, decrease your time that you're using them as much as possible. Recharge the phone battery using a wired plug-in charger rather than a wireless charging device, and keep it away from your bed when using it. Unplug the charger when not using it, and that will help to keep the dirty, and we talked about dirty electricity. So if you're not using these wireless devices, then the charger, then keep it unplugged.
Whoa.
Okay, so some people are saying, okay, what about the protective barrier? What about protective case? So if you purchase 5G cell phone, laptops, iPads, tablets, also purchase a thick protective case, because that is removing that from direct contact with your body, especially in children. That protective case is to protect the device itself. If you drop it, it won't break. But it is providing a very small barrier from it coming directly in contact with your body. But it's not to be used as a protective barrier per se. So you do not want to place your laptop, tablets, or other electronic devices on your lap or near your head while using them. Place the tablets and laptops on a desk table, not a metal tray, again, because metal conducts electricity. And never have it in direct contact with your body. Never have these in direct contact with your body. So if you have a laptop or tablet, place a lap desk or large pillow between the device and your lap. If you're going to put it on your lap, you need a barrier. You need either a laptop, they call it a lap desk that you can buy from, like Walmart's and different stores, or use a large pillow. And it's very important to limit the screen time for your kids, for your children. Children that's in the 8th grade or lower should limit their use of wireless devices to 2 hours or less per week. And I've seen children with these devices, they walk around with them like they are a doll or a pet or something. They constantly have them. There's something called a Faraday bag.
Oh,
Now,
what's that?
what's your question, Miss Michelle?
I was just saying, well, what is a Faraday bag?
Okay, so it's a device that's shielded to keep radiation that's coming off of these wireless devices from coming in
Mm,
contact with your body. And it also prevents signals from coming in from people hacking your devices. Because
mm.
remember, even when you have these devices off, if you don't remove the battery, they are still emitting radiation. Whether they're
Oh,
on
okay.
standby or off, there's still a small amount of radiation that these devices are emitting. This is how they are able to upload texts, upload messages, even when you don't have them on, they're able to upload these. And they can
Mm.
also take information from your computer. Hackers can remove information from your computer because these devices are always emitting signals. And what happens
Mhm.
is the signals are actually traveling to the cell towers. And that
Mhm.
from the cell towers, they're traveling through fiber optic cable to another cell tower. And then that cell tower sends the information to you, the data to you. So
Mm.
basically, it's always emitting. It's like a broadcast station. It's always sending
It's
out,
always on.
yes, and receiving. So that Faraday bag is a device that has a special shield material that will shield that radiation from coming in contact with your body.
Mm. Wow.
It
Okay.
prevents hackers too from taking information out of the computer.
Whoa. Okay.
And you
Dr.
can go
Joyce, I'm telling
online
you.
to get that. Go online
Yeah.
for the Faraday. It's
I'm
spelled
a, I'm a,
Rady
yeah.
Y DAY.
Yeah. I'm gonna look for that. I'm gonna look for one of those. That's one of those ounce of prevention type items.
Yes, yes. And they come in many different sizes, so you can order one for your other wireless devices like your tablets or your laptops too, if you're traveling
Okay.
a lot and you need it.
Yeah. No, that's good to know.
So, Wi-Fi routers. This is another big source of EMF radiation exposure in your home. So, if you're unable to disable your Wi-Fi on your router, use an electronic timer to turn your Wi-Fi off every night while sleeping, or a wireless switch that can turn it off and on when you need to. And whenever possible, go wired rather than wireless. To completely avoid Wi-Fi radiation, install a hard wire Ethernet cable instead of using a wireless router. So whenever possible, use a wired uh, wired device versus a wireless router. And of course, if you cannot transition away from a Wi Fi router, move it as far from your living and sleeping areas as possible because Wi Fi routers in your bedroom can cause heart palpitations. And this is from radiation exposure. We said how it affects the heart and the brain. So you can have heart palpitations, insomnia, tinnitus, and that's just ringing in the ear, night terrors, which means the people will have episode of screaming, intense fear, or sleepwalking. And so you want to definitely make sure you do not have the Wi-Fi router close to your children's bedroom because it does cause harm. And you can also use an EMF counter device to detect radiation in your home. So they have those devices where you can actually detect how much radiation you have in your office or your home or etc.
Sorry, Dr. Joyce. You see how I had to run really quickly to grab the door. I
Oh,
apologize.
no problem. I'm through with, yeah, okay. Okay, so we've gone through a lot of devices now. This is another, um, these are other devices that you definitely want to avoid, and these are called your smart devices.
Oh, okay. Really? Okay.
Because again, they are wireless, right?
Mm-hmm.
And while and these the data and the messages that you are receiving and that you are transmitting, it's not done magically. So it's going through cell towers and fiber optic cables to other cell towers, and this is a source of radiation. It's not ionizing, it's non-ionizing radiation, but it's absorbed by the body and it does cause damage to your cells and to your DNA. So that's the smart watches,
Mm-hmm.
smart glasses. And the other thing is avoid wearing metal framed glasses and switch to plastic frames for all glasses that you wear. Again, metal attract this radiation, conducts radiation. Avoid purchasing smart meters like water meters, electric meters, and gas meters. Avoid buying smart beds. Plug the power cord of smart TVs into a power strip and flip off the power to the TV when you are not watching it. Now, if you can just unplug your TV, your smart TV, you can do that. If not, if you have to go behind it to unplug it, you might want to get a power strip and flip off the power. And the reason why these smart TVs, they give off, it's one big camera. So the whole TV is a camera. So not
Mm-hmm.
only are you seeing things, they're also gathering information from you. And it's also giving off radiation. Smart appliances should be kept unplugged when you're not using them and away from your bed when you are sleeping.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one. That's a big one because everybody's going to smart devices, right?
Yes,
So that's
yes,
good to know. That's good to know.
yes. So other ways to lower EMF, radiation exposure, would be with this microwave. Believe it or not, microwave gives off radar. So when you turn your microwave on, even if you walk away from it, it is giving off radar radiation up to 100 feet.
Mm.
So, so to reduce your EMF exposure to radiation, replace your microwave with a steam convection oven. And then they also recently have something that's called the air fryer ovens that people love, and the toaster
Mm.
ovens.
Mm.
And they will heat your food as quickly and as fast and more safe
Safely.
than the
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, with the air fryer oven and the toaster oven, just like your cookware, just like your pots and your pans, stay away
Mm-hmm.
from Teflon coated. Now,
Okay.
that Teflon coated is to prevent sticking of the food. So people find it more convenient when you cook. You don't have to worry about cleaning it, hard to clean it, the food just slide
Mm-hmm.
off. But that the chemical that's found in that can cause cancer, infertility, and a lot of other diseases. This is
Mm.
from non-stick Teflon coated.
Okay. Non-stick Teflon. Girl.
And avoid baby monitor. Instead of purchasing a baby monitor, remove your baby monitor and move your baby's crib into your bedroom. Avoid electric blankets. Do not use electric blankets or beds with electric components because they
Mm-hmm.
create a large electric field that can prevent deep sleep and rejuvenating sleep. In other words, when you're resting, your cells are actually being repaired and rejuvenated. These electric devices can cause a disruption of all of that because they are interfering with that normal direct electricity that's passing through our body. That's normal. That's God made. But
Mm-hmm.
these are the alternating currents that's man-made. And so they're going in multiple directions and they're pulsing, and the cells are just not used to that burst of energy, intermittent bursts of energy called
Mm.
alternating currents.
Dr. Joyce, you always leave us with so much to think about and to prepare for. Oh, goodness gracious, girl. Oh, and you got some references here. So these are some places where they
Absolutely.
can get some additional details, more information.
Yes. And I don't know if they can see this. In addition to the Purple Mind Shield of Protection book that I had the privilege of writing with Dr. Aisha Chilcott, which is a naturopathic doctor, we wrote that book, and it's actually a shield of protection that talks about the spirit, the mind, and the body, because we are spirit. We have the mind and we live in a body. So this has Psalms to read. It talks about putting on the whole armor as well as foods
Mhm.
to detox your liver and the EMF. We talk about the tips to lower your EMF. Some of the information I have expounded on and updated, but that's a good book to start with. I really like this book, and a lot of my research, I would say most of my research came from this particular doctor, Dr. Joseph Mercola, and he talks about EMF, D. I don't know exactly what the D. I'm thinking the D probably stands for danger, and
Mhm.
it's 5G, cell phone, Wi-Fi, harms, hidden harms, and how to protect yourself. A great reference book. There's another lady by the name of Dr. Deborah Davis, Disconnect. Her book is called Disconnect: The Truth About Cell Phone Radiation, What the Industry is Doing to Hide It, and How to Protect Your Family. And then, if you like to listen, go to the YouTube, The Science of EMF Health Risk by Dr. Eleanor Stein. And that's a great one to listen to, and it will really inform you a lot about the science of the electromagnetic frequency, the different mechanisms that this radiation uses to cause harm to the cells.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
the doctor talks about how to actually lower your EMF from these
Yeah.
devices.
That's good. That's good. We will drop all of the links to the books and the resources, the YouTube page. We will drop all, you'll be able to find all of that in the description with this show. Dr. Joyce, you always come with a power packed lesson for us. And I thank you for every third Friday.
Thank
Girl.
you. Thank you so very much. And thank you for having this platform because, yeah, we want to lower our EMF lifestyle because
Mhm.
EMF has hidden harms to the body, to the DNA. And so let's make healthy happen, maybe one step at a time. But if we know more, if we know more, we can do better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, those of you who have tuned in, if you've got any questions for Dr. Joyce, if you've got any comments that you want to share, definitely drop us a note and let us know. We'd love, she will answer and respond to questions or comments that come through. If you have listened in and you learned something new today, definitely make sure that you share the podcast with a friend, a family member, a colleague, a neighbor. We
Yeah.
want to make sure that we're sharing it with as many people as we can. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do that. Send
Yes.
us a like, send
Mhm.
us a comment. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Dr. Joyce, thank you as always.
Thank you as always. Thank you and bless you.
Bless you, and we will see you all next time. Thanks for tuning in.
How do we do without time, Miss Michelle?